You know, Bill, there's one thing I've learned in all my years. Sometimes you gotta say, what the fuck? Make your move.
I beg your pardon?
I'm going to talk about a certain technique that not a lot of people understand. It's a very important concept when it comes to networking with people, when it comes to getting other people to agree with you, getting other people to like you, or convincing them into buying your product. Convince them in such a way that gets them to agree with what you have to say, that gets them to agree with your ideology, with your ideas, with your theories. So this very powerful technique that I'm going to explain to you, and I'm going to break down the concept and how it works, and I'm going to give you some examples on how you can apply this technique to various aspects of your life. It will get people to automatically like you, to automatically agree with your concepts, to agree with your ideas. And I call it stroking ego. Stroking ego is very different than, let's say, sucking up to someone. This is a very powerful technique that you can apply in your work life, in your social life, in your dating life. By properly applying this technique, you can actually get people to agree with you very easily. You can get your boss to agree with a project or a pitch that you're working on. Pitching your idea to someone becomes easy. Getting people to like you becomes easy. It's not like you're actively trying to get people to like you. By properly applying this technique, people will automatically like you. Now, stroking ego is very different to flattering someone. These are massively different. Flattering or sucking up to someone is it's a whole another concept. You never flatter or suck up to someone. What you do, you stroke their ego instead. You do it properly, it makes a world of difference. It can actually open various doors for you. So here's how it works. It's a very subtle art form. When you're doing it to someone, that person doesn't even know that you're stroking their ego, but they just automatically gets to like you. It happens subconsciously. And you have to do it in a way so that it's very subtle, so that it never comes off like that you're actually trying to stroke their ego. You know, when people talk about building value in networking, when you network, one of the things that people usually talk about, the networking gurus, they usually talk about is you have to give value to people, right? You have to be able to give value to people before you ask from someone. Someone with money does not need anything from you, really. You're the one who has to provide your value to make a deal for them. You're the only one. You have to work the part. You have to put in the effort to show that you're valuable. Now, if you don't have much to give, there's not much you can do. But what you always can do is get the other people to agree with your concepts. This is more like a marketing tactic. You actually prime that person, because at the end of the day, it's all about people. Business is all about people at the end of the day. Money exchanging hands, it's all about people. By properly stroking ego, you prime someone, getting people to be familiar with you, familiar with your concept. You provide value, you show them what you're capable of. You get them to understand your perspectives. The last 2 years, I have been networking with quite a bit of people. I had the opportunity to network with high-level people and understand how they behave and how their mind works. What we tend to think is that high-level people always talks about work, but they don't. They talk about everyday stuff, random stuff. They make jokes. I thought they always talked about money and that kind of thing. If you're always there trying to poach your marketing idea, trying to poach clients in those networking events, the way I used to think 2 years ago never worked. Let me portray a scenario for you. If you are in a high network meeting, let's say you are at a party, and you meet a couple of people who own an automotive industry, the other one is an energy business or whatever, the other one is waste management. When you go and talk to them in one of those parties, you can't try to pitch them any ideas. Even if you have an idea, let's say you're from the internet world and you are edgy and you're modern and you know how ads work and you know how the latest marketing trends work and you know how AI works and all that stuff. You can go and talk to those people, but you can't pitch those ideas. You can't try to poach them to get them to be your client, because it's going to deter them away. So you can't. If you try to give them strategic advices, they don't know you. They're not going to take your strategic advice. Why would they? Why would they take your strategic advice, right? It's like, even if you're trying to give the value for free, it's like, whatever. But the best thing that you can do, if you can crack the right joke that gets them, and if you can learn how to stroke their ego, if you can be funny, if you can be charming, that will get you further than trying to poach them and give them your marketing advice or whatever if you just cracked a better joke. If you don't have any credibility, one of the best things that you can learn, and if you don't have that much proof to back up your claim, to pitch to someone, one of the best things that you can learn when it comes to networking, when it comes to connecting with someone, is learning how to stroke their ego. Learning how to stroke someone's ego is an art form. Here's how you do it. The first thing that you don't want to do is suck up to someone. When you stroke someone's ego, you don't compliment people on something that they haven't worked on. The way you stroke someone's ego is you make it seem like it's subconscious. Sucking up is like this: you compliment people, you flatter them, it's more in the face. It's like, oh, you're so beautiful. It just makes things so uncomfortable. And someone with very bad social calibration is not gonna get it. It's like you're complimenting someone directly, and you never do that. Never compliment someone on something that they haven't worked for. Have you seen that YouTube channel, School of Hard Knocks? That guy is like the perfect definition. He knows that's what he's doing. When he goes and talks to high net worth individuals, he does not compliment them, he does not flatter them. What he does, he strokes their ego. And the way he strokes their ego is very interesting. He gets them to be on his platform that has millions of views, that garners millions of views per video. That gives people attention. That increases their status.
And do you think I could interview real quick? I have one of the biggest business media channels in the entire world. I go all over interviewing the most successful people. I have the biggest business media channel on social media right now. I have one of the biggest business media channels in the world. We got 11 million followers. It's the School of Hard Knocks. We have 11 million followers. Could I get 30 seconds with you? I have the biggest business media channel in the entire world. How old were you when you made your first million?
28.
28. What line of business are you in?
I'm an investor.
Question for you.
Yeah.
Is this your G-Wagon?
Yes.
What do you do for a living out here in Austin to be able to afford a G-Wagon?
I am entrepreneur.
How old were you when you made your first million?
42.
And what line of business are you in?
I'm in software.
The people he is interviewing, their status increases by just being on his video. You understand? It benefits him and it benefits those people. It gets him to network and connect with those people. You can't ask for a better example other than School of Hard Knocks. Honestly, the videos that he's publishing, there's not really much you can learn about it. The advices are not like revolutionary. These are not like revelations. Like all those advices are just basic life advices that those high net worth individuals tend to give out. But what that does, that actually makes them feel valuable. Him interviewing them makes them feel valuable because what they're getting attention, they're getting the status. That's a very good way of stroking someone's ego. The other way that you can stroke someone's ego, let's say you're on a date and you can clearly see she's got a great ass.
Nice.
Instead of saying that, you say, hey, do you work out? Do you hit the gym? Yeah. You do a great job, eh? Okay, so how much do you lift? And then they talk about how great of an ass they have. It's a subtle art form. Another way you can stroke someone's ego is you increase their image in front of others, which is basically their status. You increase their status in front of others, in front of their peers, in front of their business partners. You want the people you are trying to be benefited automatically, and you're the underlying factor only, and only those people know who's responsible to bring their status up, or who helped bring their status up in front of their girlfriend, in front of their wife or whatever. Money's a great factor. Money can be a great motivator, but also status can be a great motivator. If there's a way you can give them status, if there's a way you can actually enhance your image in front of other people, that's stroking ego. You're stroking their ego, okay? You inflate their ego. So every time they work with you, they feel good. Take a look at Risky Business. In the film, Tom Cruise's character, okay, he was supposed to get into one of those Ivy League colleges, and he's actually not qualified to get in because his marks are poor. But what ends up happening, comes over and he clearly sees that Tom Cruise's character, he's not qualified to be in Harvard. But what Tom Cruise does, what his character does, his character changes his mind by stroking his ego. He hooks that guy up for free of charge, with one of the girls that he knew. So that guy probably hasn't gone laid for a long period of time, got to get laid with one of the hottest girls Tom Cruise knew. So stroking his ego is like another way of giving value. You may not have the right resources or the right skills, but at least if you can connect people to the right people, or if you can at least increase their image in front of others, or increase their status in front of others, their friends, their family, or their wife. You can create a connection with that person that you actually want to do business with, and that gives you leverage. You want to do it subtly, in a way that gets people to automatically connect with you, that gets people will automatically like you, and they want to do business with you because their reputation, their status is enhanced. You go to a party, you're allowed to bring a couple of friends. Instead of bringing your buddy, bring your hot friends. Bring all of your girlfriends to the party. Invite all of your girlfriends to be at the party. While everyone's bringing their business partner or bringing their wife or whatever, you bring all the female friends that you have at the party. Now guess who's more likable now? Now guess who's gonna get invited more at the parties? The other way to do it is, if you have a party and if you know a friend who's a musician or who's a struggling musician, you can get them to play at the party. It's a very useful skill that you can learn when it comes to networking, when it comes to building social value, when it comes to building social proof. It is a very tactical skill that you can learn and implement in almost all parts of your life.